lobby?
We have 9, Mr. President. Larry Klipstein. Subject is recent proposed cuts.
My name is Larry Klipstein, 959 Oakwood Drive, Elyria. One thing is closing West Park and South Park pools. I think you should look at this because I know a lot of the kids that go to these. I coach football at South Park. Many of those kids come from Wilkesville. They come from South Park apartments. We know the south side of Elyria has not always been, to me, treated like the rest of Elyria. It seemed like south side has always been a stepchild of the city because they're the ones that seem things are taken away from easier. If you have those kids having nowhere to go in the summertime, they're going to be out in the streets causing more mischief and trouble like any other kid would do. You're talking about cutting police department. Well, you're going to need more police department help if you're going to close the pools and the kids are out in the street causing chaos amongst the neighbors and that because they'll call the police on them. As I remember, the budget that when it came down, it seems like every department was given the same percentage to cut. Well, you shouldn't be giving it that way. You should take the departments and put in priorities. Now you need fire, you need safety, you need police. That should be at the top of the priorities and not given the same amount to cut. They should have a very less amount to have to cut from a budget than any other department. Another thing is several things that I haven't heard anybody say about things that could be an alternative to what to do with the city is the immediate freeze on any wage increases throughout the city. A lot of the expenses accounts, I'm sure that some members of the administration have expenses accounts that they use that to pay for certain things like mileage and gasoline and other costs. That should be done away with right now. That should be part of your job. I mean, you want the job to run the city, you should just pay for that out of your salary, what you get for the city. There should no more be any more paid seminars. A lot of people travel to seminars at the city's expenses. Well, that should be frozen. It should be done away with. If you want to go to a seminar, that comes out of your pocket. The combination of various departments. You may have to consolidate several city departments into one and have one head over that city department. Also, the council, I feel they need to vote with what they really feel. A lot of times I come in here at these meetings, I talk to council people, they tell me their feelings about something, but when it comes to vote time, they just go with the flow. If you really think you represent the people of your city, you need to stand up and fight for what the people really want. If people want the police to be on the street, they want the fire department to be there when they call 911, they don't want, the lightings and all this other stuff going on. I don't hear anything coming from administration or City Hall what they're cutting. Another thing I like to know is, in November we all voted and passed a Keep Elyria Safe levy. All the signs said Keep Elyria Safe, pass this levy, no cuts in city services or anything. It's January now, so what happened within 60 days that we were promised one thing in November, and now in January we want to cut everything? Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrolman Dan Sumter, and the subject is the budget.
Hello, I'm Patrolman Dan Sumter from the Elyria Police Department. I represent the EPPA, the Elyria Police Patrolman Association.
We need your state your ad.
About 18 West Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Earlier you provided a couple fact sheets that I provided for you. You can read them at your leisure when you get a chance. But I'd like to bring a few notable statistics to you guys about our department. Since 1995, the number of sworn officers has dropped from 100 to, like the chief said, 86. Our calls for service this year were close to 40,000, which was an increase of almost 900 calls since last year. That does not include arrests, traffic accidents, traffic stops, quick calls we make, and just general patrol. There was a 2.3% increase in arrests this year. That number is going to increase again next year, I'm sure. I can only speak for our department, but since 2004, our department has not spent and has given back approximately $1.8 million from our approved budgets. Last year, EPD spent about $291,000 in overtime. That was within our budget that was approved, and half of that was covered by grants. We had a multi-agency law enforcement task force, and then there was I believe a guns, drugs, gangs type grant. So that was covered, almost half of that was covered in our overtime. The citizens of this city have a police force that's strong in resources and in manpower to cover an increasing number of calls for service, arrests, and accidents. This is our basic workload for our department. We also need to increase our manpower and equipment to provide services that concentrate on other community problems, such as drug houses, juvenile issues, disturbances, property damage, speed enforcement, also noise disturbances and civil disputes. Without these needed increases in our department, it's going to be difficult to maintain these services that we provide at a level of efficiency that is expected when a victim is in need. Please take time to read over the paperwork that I gave you guys and consider our needs as city needs. And when you do, please consider those needs while you finalize our budget. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Lieutenant Philip Hammonds, the Police Department.
Evening. My name is Lieutenant Phil Hammonds. I'm representing FOP for the Elyria Police Department, 18 West Avenue. I want to thank members of council for letting me speak tonight in the mayor's office. And I appreciate all the officers that showed up tonight. They have the same concerns, and I'm going to try to relay some of those, as Officer Sumter said. Our calls have gone up. Our arrests have gone up. We know in tough times, crime goes up. Safety and crime go hand in hand. People move to a city because of two things: education and crime. They want to know that there's not a lot of crime in their community. And that's something that the Elyria Police Department has provided efficiently, effectively for the last 14 years I've been here. We've seen our numbers go down. We've seen 16% reduction in staff and officers that are working the streets. We know it's tough times. We realize that as a department. We've tried to do what we can to maintain our budget and stay within budget, and we've given back money. Unfortunately, we're in a position now where we can't do that anymore. Police departments, really, we have three functions. We're about order maintenance, we're about crime fighting, and we're about service. Unfortunately, if we have these reductions that occur, we're not going to have those special units that provide a lot of these proactive things, like our neighborhood impact unit, like our narcotics unit, like our SWAT team, like our school resource officer. We have a lot of positions that are proactive in the department. We're going to get to a point where, as a shift, we're just going to be reacting to calls instead of actually trying to prevent crime. Crime fighting is one of the big things that we do as a police department. I think I speak for most of the police officers here and their families that we can't afford to lose anyone. We cannot afford it as a police department to protect the citizens of Elyria and give them what they want. And what they want is they want a reduction in crime. They want to feel safe in their houses. They want to feel safe in their community. We like all the nice things. We like the lights. We like some of the things that we have in the city. But unfortunately, the times are tough right now. And right now, we feel as a police department that we're providing 38,000 calls for service. And each one of those calls is not, that could have 10 officers there, that could have 1 officer there. Each call represents someone that needs something. They need a service, they're involved in an accident, they are involved in a domestic, there's a fight going on. We respond to those things every day, day in and day out. We don't come down and talk about how we do it, because quite frankly, that's our job. That's what we signed up for as police officers. I also have people here that are from not just police officers. We have records department. We have corrections. We have dispatch. We have other people that are providing police services for the public that are part of our budget. So quite frankly, our budget is bigger because we have more people. We have 141 total employees that are giving people service. If those people's jobs are cut, people are going to notice this. I think that's all I have. Do you have any questions for me in the FOP?
Anybody have any questions for Lieutenant Hammond? Thank you.